Look at our race analysis. Today's race, 200 laps. That equals 200 miles at this 1 mile concrete layout. Stage 1, stage 2, 45 laps apiece. 110 laps in the final stage. You see the fuel window there, and that could be significant because the way you play the strategy in the final stage, especially if we get one of those long green flag runs, can be a difference maker.
And that's what happened here last year. There was a long green flag run. They actually made a green flag pit stop. They ran it to the very, very end, but they're about out of gas. They're going to have to pit under green to do that. Who knows how this race plays out?
Toyota on board today with Ryan Truex starting 12th, as we said earlier. Now we look at our Fox weather. 59 degrees. Cloudy skies. There is a chance of some rain, but we hope that stays away and we get things going and run to our scheduled distance. As we anticipate the green flag, let's go Team Radio. Riley Herbst in the 98.
Let's keep on pit road, keep you up front. There's no reason we can't come out here with that 100 grand. We got a good Monster Energy Ford Mustang today. Let's put on a show for these fans and seal the deal. Let's do it. Be there at the end, man. Keep this stretch going. Been doing a hell of a job. Let's keep it going. Pit crew, been doing an awesome job. Let's be aware of our surroundings today. Appreciate all the hard work and let's go do our job today. Have some fun. Chase 100K and a monster.
The win last week was impressive, but the 6 consecutive top 10s at all different types of racetracks, that's solid for a rookie.
Yeah, it is, you know, and he's really impressed, I think, a lot of people this year of how he's approached the year and how well of a job he's done, you know, just early on in the season already. And I think he's just going to keep getting better and better, you know, as he gets laps under his belt and gets more comfortable with these cars. So Jesse Love, very impressive to start the 24 season. And
as you heard his crew chief earlier, their goal right now is to be able to figure out how they can get Jesse going faster early in the race. A typical rookie move, right, is where you have to learn the first half of the race, then the second half you're stronger. Right? He's got that win under his belt now. He could be a little bit more aggressive early in the race. Hopefully they're able to find speed sooner, and that will definitely turn into more victories into the season.
See those drivers dropping to the rear, everyone making some unapproved adjustments, so they'll have some ground to make up. Headliner there, Anthony Alfredo, who's going for the Dash for Cash. Back-to-back top 10s for him. Qualifying yesterday, we said Brandon Jones wins the pole. It's his second this year. If you remember, he won at Martinsville, but he had some adjustments, had to come from the back. Today, he gets the view from the front. 9 car takes the outside lane. 200 miles at Dover. We're racing at the Monster Mile.
Pretty good launch by the 98 on the bottom. I feel like, you know, the outside lane is always kind of preferred to restart, and he did a good job of jumping with him. That gets harder as, you know, you get laps on your tires and it lays a little bit more rubber down, but he did a good job initially as he fights with Justin Allgaier. Looks like he's going to have a good shot at clearing the 98 off 4.
Yeah, that's what Justin Allgaier wants. We talk about how strong he is here. He's going to get himself into second place as they go 3 wide. No, almost 3 wide. It looked like it was there for a minute down in the turn 1. With Justin Allgaier back to that, he's going to be able to run his pace right here. He's going to be able to try to separate himself a little bit, possibly, and be able to manage his tires.
You see the left rear of these cars as they get into turn 3, how much they move, you know, how much there's a big bump, you know, getting in there. We always talk about, oh, you drop into these corners and it's a huge, like, 2-story drop, but turn 3 under the bridge, it's actually way rougher than turn 1 entry. So it's neat to see these cars, you know, really get out of shape. And that's something we work on a lot when we come to this racetrack.
2 young drivers for position there. The 19 Taylor Gray inside of Jesse Love in the 2.
Yeah, I was going to say, Blaney, it's neat to see it. Not so much
Not
neat
to feel it.
I know.
This is where the view from the booth is much better, right?
Oh, he's got a little free under him.
You're going to see that a lot today, especially with these cars, right? I mean, especially early, you know, in the race where the rubber's not down and the track isn't very wide. You see Jesse Love pinching Allgaier, you know, pretty tight to the apron, and these cars are so side force relying on that pause that it's easy for the bottom car to get out of shape. So it's how do you manage that?
In the pylon, drivers highlighted in purple, those going for the Dash for Cash. Final round of our Dash for Cash today. And the caution is out early. An incident in turn 1. 35, J.J. Yaley.
Looks like he backed her in there pretty hard.
Looks like Haley
A lot of
Deegan
damage.
has a little left front damage. Left front headlight.
Yeah.
Window net is down, so he is done for the afternoon. Let's go back and see if we can pick up what happened in progress here.
Here they come into turn 1. You see the wreck's already started. A lot of damage for Haley Deegan in the 15. You see that left front is tore all off that car. She was down the inside wall.
Tough break for Haley. Had never seen Dover before this weekend, and coming off a career best finish, 12th last Saturday at Talladega.
Well, that's a lot of damage.
Yeah, that left front fender is very important here for downforce.
Early caution at Dover. Top 5, Brandon Jones, Justin Allgaier, Riley Herbst, Creed, and Chandler Smith. Jesse Love out front. Can he hang on? Jesse Love out of fuel.
What a heartbreaker for him.
Double overtime at Talladega. Jesse Love in control of the field. Jesse Love, the rookie. First career win comes at Talladega.
Redemption for Atlanta.
Wild day, wild finish, as we often experience at Talladega, but it all worked out for Jesse Love, who wins for the first time in his career in his 9th start. That got us to thinking, through 9 races, what were some other champions looking like? So we do a comparison with Reddick in his rookie year through 9 starts when he was able to win the championship in 18, and then what Chase Elliott did in 2014. The numbers very comparable, and in some categories even better for Jesse Love.
Yeah, you look at laps led. A lot of laps led for Jesse Love. A lot of great qualifying efforts. Led a ton of laps in Atlanta. I think that's where the majority of those laps led came from.
And when you look at what he's done with the stage victories, too, 4 stage wins already this year for Jesse Love. So he's putting the points on the board. By the way, you didn't run full time, Joey, but through 9 races, 1 win, 7 top 10s, 217 laps led.
It's impressive,
I'm in the
Joey.
ballpark.
We're back in a
We're going to look
moment.
up Ryan's now.
Early caution at Dover for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. J.J. Yaley, Haley Deegan both had damage. Yaley done for the afternoon. Let's go to the initial start. Justin Allgaier inside of row 2, outside of him, Austin Hill.
Yeah, right here you're going to see Justin Allgaier. He's going to get in behind Riley Herbst, and what's going to happen is Riley's going to lift pretty early into turn 1. You can kind of notice that with the speed difference to the 9. Justin says, I'm going to run the back of you. I got to move up the racetrack. Moves up the racetrack to try to get some air, ultimately past Riley Herbst a little bit later, but the 21 was not too excited about this move as it pushes him up the racetrack a little bit.
Here's team radio for Austin Hill. As Joey said, a little upset.
And yeah, Derek, I have no idea what the 7's doing, but I'll remember that. Okay, I was just going to ask you if I didn't see something that you did. I didn't know what that was all about, but 10-4, it's noted.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand why Austin was not too pleased with that, right? From his point of view, he just got shoved up into the 3rd lane. Well, let's see. There's always 2 sides of it, so let's see Justin's side of it.
That start, the 98, like, checked up super early, and I knew the 21 was there, but I was going to plow right through the back of the 98 if I didn't just take it, you know what I mean?
I was wondering what happened there.
Well, now we don't have to wonder.
Now we don't have to wonder. That's what he did.
I always thought there were 3 sides to the story. Mine, yours, and the truth, right? But maybe...
Actually, that was pretty truthful.
Yeah, it was. It was pretty
truthful,
good.
you know.
And I think when Austin Hill sees that, right, everybody settle down and we'll move on with life. All of this puts Allgaier on the front row for now, what will be our first restart of the afternoon. And Brandon Jones, who's in control of the race again, takes the outside lane. Mentioned J.J. Yaley done for the day. He was released from the care center.
We need to get this vortex going.
Yeah, a few.
I saw a couple drops on the camera. We need to get some cars racing vortex.
You believe in that one?
I don't. I'm just trying to make up any excuse to try to get racing so it doesn't get.
I think they're going racing. Lights are out. Pace car's about to drop off. I hope. There he goes.
There he goes.
Restart will come out. The green flag will come out, and we'll get the restart as we complete lap 13.
Justin had a great restart on the bottom, really able to power by his teammate before they even landed into turn 1.
He got a pretty good shove by the 18, I think. They got connected pretty good, but yeah, that was a fantastic. And then he just powered around the 9, you know, into turn 1 and was able to take the lead over.
It's dangerous if that 7 gets out front here. We had his numbers off the top. This is a really, really good track for Justin.
You know, anytime you come to a racetrack that you have stats like that, all you want to do is make sure you capitalize on it. You have a great opportunity to score a lot of points. You want to make that happen today.
There was almost a big moment there between Weatherman and I believe it was I think Allmendinger. They got super close off of 2 and Weatherman had his hands full. It gets so tight on the exit of these corners. You know, it just, you never think you're going to make it if you're too wide, you know, and then you got someone on your left rear quarter panel. Like here, I mean, look how tight together these 2 are. Oh. And it's, I mean, like I said, you just are lucky if you make it out of there. Both still going straight. It's props to the guys, these drivers, for really understanding and being patient, staying off each other and not pushing the issue, especially early in the race.
Well, something I noticed early in the race right here is everybody is fighting for that bottom. That whole line, you see them even down the straightaway, they're kind of cheating it down a little bit, trying to block that inside lane, make sure they have that bottom when they're in the corner right now. It shows me that the top is not in. There is not a bunch of speed up there. You do not want to be freight trained on the top. Not only do you get freight trained, but it's green up there, Ryan, and you're going to wear your tires out.
Yep.
This is the Ryan Express.
Ryan Sieg right there.
That's the name of the game in a pass here, right? Pressure them through the center of the corner, try to loosen them up, take that air off of them, and pull underneath them on the exit.
Kyle Weatherman, career best qualifying effort yesterday, started 6th, but he's dropped outside the top 10. Sieg goes by, Truex goes by, and the 8 of Sammy Smith waiting in the wings.
This is a bit of that freight train we were talking about. You get up there, and then it just kind of keep following through. And all you can really do here is just try to find a hole to get down, right? Try to get that gap, and you may see it's right there. Just turn down. It's not that easy. You can't just turn down right there.
You can't change directions very easy when you're on the edge of grip anyway, you know, and you can't just do it at the whim. I wish it was that easy, but on TV it looks way easier than when you can actually do it. So Weatherman, he's just praying for a hole here.
There's his gap right there.
Yep.
The Ryans went by. Now the Parkers doing it. Retzloff drives underneath the 91. Kligerman is there in the 48, but he's got company with Matt DiBenedetto hanging around in that 38 car.
Yeah, maybe had a good run there. They kind of fought for the bottom there, and he saw him check up, and he said, you know what, I think I can zing it into the top here and maybe make a pass. And he pulled that one off. Nice move.
Yeah, you'll see that. It's almost like the Martinsville stack up sometimes, like when everyone fights for the bottom and you'll have a guy go to the top and maybe he'll get a row, you know, just because they check up so much. That's similar to what happens here on restarts, really, when the track is green and you're fighting for the bottom.
Good start to the day for the 88 of Carson Kvapil. Told his story a little earlier with Josh, making his 2nd career start, but has never seen anything like what he'll face today here at the Monster Mile. Rolls off 26th, has already got it up to 20th, and going to school right behind his teammate Sam Mayer.
It's never an easy racetrack to come to for your first time. I remember my first start was here in the Xfinity Series here at Dover, and the first few laps you're like, whoa. You know, like, this is just crazy. And, you know, it takes a few minutes just to get your bearings a little bit and understand what's going on.
Well, this place is it's only a mile, right? But it's so fast. The corners are so long. And you're on. Oh!
Allmendinger in the 16. A little contact there with Taylor Gray. And that loss of momentum opens the door for Cole Custer to go by on the outside.
That was a good save.
Here it is again off of turn 2. You see AJ just kind of loses the nose a little bit, heads up the hill. That caught his attention.
You know, and you're seeing the track get a little bit darker in the corners, right? You see this, the rubber's getting laid down, so that's so hard for AJ to wrap the bottom. You know, your car's going to get in the rubber and it's going to shove the nose up. And when you got a car outside of you like that, you don't have the room you need, right? So it's super tough to make that pass on the bottom when your right's getting the rubber kind of as you're coming out of the hole.
What I see right there, though, Ryan, 25 laps into the race, Cole Custer is moving up the racetrack. There he is in the middle, 3 and 4, looking for that grip. He's finding a little bit. He knows he's got 20 to go in the stage. Maybe he can start searching a little bit, gets that run.
Yeah, you get those good runs. You know, he can kind of angle his car down the track a little bit later than other drivers that are kind of hugging the bottom the whole time. So that's definitely a tool to use. It cheers up your tires a little bit.
Oh, and we've got our second caution of the day.
Sieg,
one of our Dash for Cash guys.
He needs to get out of that one.
There he is. Yeah, thank goodness.
Seemed to get out really, really fast there.
He was running inside the top 15. Actually, it's Matt DiBenedetto in the 38. At least that's what we're showing graphically. I thought for sure that was the 39. Yeah, our graphic was wrong. It is the 39.
I think it's burning down. You gotta wonder what happened here.
It's on fire.
You see here, it's already on fire.
Had to have blown an oil line off of it and caught everything on fire. I don't know, coming out of the wheel wells like that.
Oil, gas line maybe?
Yeah.
You hate that for this race team because so close a couple of weeks ago at Texas, able to get the job done.
You see it's on fire as he goes into turn 1 right there.
Stay out of his wake. Stay out of his wake. Left front's on fire. There you go. Sieg now.
That is a huge fire.
Oh, and he did get out quick.
Yeah.
Well, you got to think that's one of the biggest fires I've seen in a long time with one of these race cars. You see him there, he's coughing. You know, you got to assume he inhaled a little bit of smoke there. Hopefully he's okay.
I wonder if he had time to pull his cord. I doubt it. You know, we have we have a fire extinguisher bottle in the car, and where there's a pull cord where you can rip it, and it kind of extinguishes the cockpit and the hood. I don't even know if he probably had time to do that. I bet he was just wanting to get out of that thing for how much it was burning up and how fast it was.
Already 2 cautions in the opening stage here at Dover. This one for Ryan Sieg. Coming off of turn 2 on fire. You'll see him hop out of the race car. Look at that. What a dramatic moment. Caution is out for the second time at Dover, and we got a few drivers coming down pit road.
Jesse Love.
He was running inside the top 10.
So I think what these guys are doing here, they're going to pit and then run it to the end of the second stage.
Right, yeah, you just flip it, right?
Yep.
Gain that track position when everyone else pits at the end of stage 1. And you know what? This team has won 4 stages, talking about Jesse Love. They got the win last week. They built up a lot of playoff points. So maybe you give up some stage points here to gain that track position. I love having options, and they're taking advantage of it.
I don't dislike it. You see there are only 15 laps to go to the end of the stage. You got to think by the time they go green, it's going to be 12 maybe or so to go. So, you know, they're going to have 12 to 15 laps on their tires by the time it goes green for the second stage. They're going to get a ton of track, especially if you're Shane Van Gisbergen there. He started back at 30th. I'm not sure what he got up to, but
yeah, he was still running 29th, 28th, I think. So that was a huge gain for those guys. Yeah.
Today on Fox, it's an NL showdown as Paul Goldschmidt leads the Cardinals against Pete Alonso and the Mets, or the Reds battle Corey Seager and the Rangers today, 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific on Fox. Check local listings for the game in your area. Josh Williams among the drivers that made a pit stop there, trying to flip the stage. They were caught speeding, so he'll start here at the tail. But once everything cycles through, I mean, he can just go back there and take care of his tires, right?
Yeah, I mean, you know, Josh, he had to start in the back too, so it was no-brainer for them. Jeb Burton, I saw, was on pit road too. They had to start in the back, so no-brainer for them. So I don't mind that call. Like Joey said, I mean, there's going to be 13 laps to go by the time you get back here. So, yeah, if you don't have track position, why not?
Ryan Sieg brought out the second caution of the day with that fire. He has been released from the care center, so good news there.
That's great news. What do you think of the choose here, Ryan Blaney? What'd you do?
Well, you see, Allgaier took the bottom.
Mixed it up, didn't he?
The leader took the bottom. I mean, he got the lead from the bottom,
right.
So it's like, all right, well, why would I change up what I'm doing? Now I can control where to launch. So we'll see. You know, a little bit more laps on the tires. It seems to launch a little bit worse on the bottom, you know, if you have older tires. So I think Justin was like, I'll just try it. I think he feels confident if he enters even with the 9 into 1, he's probably going to clear him. So we'll see if he does that.
First 2 green flags of the afternoon. Control car outside. This time leader Justin Allgaier goes inside. As Blaney said, that's where he got the lead, and he's going to do it again.
Same song, second verse.
Sheldon Creed looking for second in the 18.
And you see everybody's back down to the bottom here to restart as they kind of picked up a lot of that rubber under caution. The rubber gets picked back up. There's a lot more grip in the racetrack to fire off. That top lane will come in a lot quicker than last time, though.
Jones pretty good through the corner that time. Did you see him wrap that with the momentum and pull down in front of Creed?
You know, sometimes you'll get in the corner like the 18 did, right? And it just, you get light. You know, you're like, oh, and he had to check up, and he had someone right on his rear bumper too, so he was in a pretty bad spot, but he did a good job of settling back down and getting back to third.
Let's go to Josh.
Ryan Sieg checked to release from the care center. Was there any indication that the car was about to get engulfed in flames before that happened?
I saw a little oranges coming out of the you know what I mean, right there at the clutch panel into 1, and I was like, something's not right. And then the spotter's like, it's on fire. So and then all of a sudden both fenders engulfed in flames, and I was just ready to get the hell out of there because I ain't messing with no fire. But other than that, the car was good. It just sucks. You know what I mean? I was just biding my time, just riding right there, and to come out of here now on fire, it just sucks. Just I saw the replay. It looked like I was Ricky Bobby on fire with my hands flailing around, but just sucks. And we had good momentum going. Just gotta bring a faster side up forward to the track and get them on at Darlington.
Glad you're okay, Ryan.
Yeah, glad he's all right. You know, that's a terrible feeling. I mean, I think you've been on fire at least one time in your career, and it's not fun. I mean, it's obviously fire is no good, and it was good to see him jump out of it. And you know, like you said, that team has had a wild last 3-4 weeks. You know, from almost winning Texas to winning the Dash for Cash at Talladega, running well, and then early exit, which is not a good one today, but they'll fight back. They always do. They do a good job on that group.
Here's the other tough thing. They came in just above the cut line. I know it's early, but they were right above that cut line when it comes to making the playoffs, and that no doubt will fall out now. They only had a 5-point advantage. Let's get an update on the 2 from Regan.
Well, you showed there Jesse Love pitting under that last yellow flag. They pit it because he has been too tight right now, losing grip with the car all over the place, in particular off the corners. Crew Chief Danny Stockman had a little concern before the race because the weather conditions very different than what they anticipated and tried to predict. So a good opportunity to get a stop early there.
He's actually third in line of those drivers that made a pit stop. Parker Retzloff is the best of the bunch. He's worked his way to 20th. He's in front of Love right now.
I'll tell you who I like. We just saw him in the 2 box. Cole Custer. He's making some ground up. I mean, he's moving around. He's moving to the top. He just passed the 98, making a run on the 18, and he's moving up the racetrack, you know, and not the racetrack is putting some rubber down, but he's making it work. So look at the rut he gets off the corner. He's going to get to the bottom of the 18 into 1. Oh, he chose not to do it. But yeah, Cole is somebody we talked about before the race. I felt pretty good about, and he's really doing a good job of moving around the racetrack, finding speed.
He qualified 11th, did Cole. He's up to 4th. And here's Truex, started 12th. He's 9th, but he's got company. Sam Mayer starting to make some noise in the 1.
See, A.J. Allmendinger just, you got to get out of my way. He said, I got places to be. He had pressure from Ryan Truex behind him. Said, I got to go and lay the old chrome horn there.
Well, he and Gray, they were tied off of 2 that one time when AJ got into his left rear. So I think he was like, I'm done messing with you. I have got places to be, and I'm gonna make quick work of you.
3 to go on the stage. Really good battle here for 3rd. Custer and Creed.
You see Creed, he's moved up the racetrack now. You know, he saw Custer really be able to make some time up there as Custer's trying to get him loose on the left rear.
And I can tell you what, Sheldon Creed's already loose. You can see that car wiggling. From the beginning of this run, he looked really free right in the restart. And I guarantee you it has not gotten any better for him. And now when you have Cole Custer taking air off your rear spoiler, it ain't going to get better.
See Cole's car just be able to rotate really good. You know, he entered up there, had his left front headlight poked out at the 18, just turned down the racetrack and throttled up. So that's pretty impressive to see out of the 00 right there. So I'd be curious to see. I know he's 4.5 seconds back of the leaders, but I'd be curious to see. Restarts in the top 3 or so. We'll see if he's got something for the JRM guys.
Final lap of the stage. The drivers we heard most frequently in the garage this morning: 7 of Allgaier, 00 of Custer, Ryan Truex certainly, and A.J. Allmendinger. And all of them have shown signs here in this first stage that could indicate they might be the one later on. For now, it's all about driver 7. Stage 1 goes to Justin Allgaier, and he matches his car number. That's his 7th stage win at Dover, the most of all drivers. Jones was 2nd, his teammate. He needed those points. Custer gets 3rd. Creed was 4th. Riley Herbst started on the front row. He completes the top 5. 4 stage wins in 2024 for Justin Allgaier. He's the man in stage 1 at Dover.
Welcome back to Dover, where the first set of pit stops are underway. Let's start with the 7 of Justin Allgaier, the Stage 1 winner. Said he needs to be just a little bit freer on corner entry, otherwise happy with that car. For Brandon Jones in the 9, he said he fired off tight. It got tighter as the run went, so they made an air pressure adjustment for him, Regan.
The 00 Cole Custer actually a little bit too loose right now for his car. Needs some security. That's the team. Give me a little security. I will be better. And the 18 is Sheldon Creed. He is loose into turns 1, tight on the center. That's his main issues he's fighting right now.
Here we go with the race off pit road. 00 able to jump out in front of that group. Now keep in mind, there were those drivers that flipped the stage, so these won't be the drivers that are restarting up front.
Allgaier -3.
Yeah, he's got a really bad pit stall selection and compromised them as they were trying to make their exit. Stage 2 when we come back. As we prepare for stage 2 at Dover, Blaine Perkins has his 29 car pulled to the garage. They had an electrical fire, and that's the reason he stalled on track under the caution. And he's the team car to Ryan Sieg. So something to follow with RSS Racing as we move forward with our second stage. Front row, those drivers that flipped it. Pitting late at lap 30 in stage 1, Parker Retzlaff, Jesse Love, the front row.
Parker takes the bottom here, which, you know, it seems to be pretty 50-50 today if you're the leader on what lane you're going to want. Probably the first time he's been on the front row at Dover, I'm sure, for Parker.
Those drivers that ran it out, restart row 4. That's where Cole Custer is.
That's difficult, right? I mean, you see Cole
Custer go.
And Austin Hill. They split that row. You know, these guys up in the front, right, they haven't entered turn 1 and 2 with clean air the whole race, right? They were kind of in the back, so you're lifting way earlier. So their commitment level, they don't know how hard I can drive into turn 1. So that's such a hard thing as a driver when you have to change up your entry, especially on a restart where it's super hard and you're on older tires. So see if these guys can hang.
Jesse Love takes the lead. Jordan Anderson Racing teammates behind him. Parker Retzlaff, Jeb Burton, Burton coming off his best run of the year, top 10 at Talladega. And then some of those drivers that made a pit stop at the end of the stage. Cole Custer 4th right now.
Yeah, I think Cole Custer knows that he has to go right now. Let's be honest, there is weather in the area. Now, when it gets here and how hard it is, it's unknown. But I know one thing, if you're the driver of the 00 and you got new tires, get me to the lead as quick as possible. You got to get to lap 100. You got to get halfway if it does start to rain, to call it official.
Look at
Do
this
not
guy.
waste any time.
Allgaier so good in that first stage, leading 34 laps. He wins it, but they have the issues on pit road, lose a few positions, and he gets trapped outside the top 10, so he's dealing with plenty of dirty air.
Brandon Jones has been struggling to get going. He's stuck on the top. He's loose. He just can't get down it. He's definitely not making the progress that he wants. You see Chandler Smith underneath SVG.
Talk about the rain. Got to make it to the end of stage 2 for this race to be official. That's lap 90 on the board, so a little ways to go, but it can change the mindset of a driver when they think this thing could end early and where you want to go.
Hey, I mean, that's not that long away. I mean, we're coming to 33 laps to go till 90. It goes by quick here. I mean, you're running 24-second laps. So these guys know, hey, we have got to get it done right now.
This race just hasn't got into a good rhythm yet, right? You have these cautions early in the race and the end of the stage, and you get a quick refire here so far. When does it settle in and you get to just make laps and actually see what your car really has over the long haul? It's hard to adjust on your car when you don't know what it's going to do in the long run. And if you have cycles on your tires, you still don't know what your car is going to be like.
And Cole's only gotten up to 4th. I mean, he's pressuring Jeb. He's going to get to the inside of Jeb here into 3. But we've always seen, I feel like, at this track, because it picks the rubber up under caution, it cleans it off pretty well. So scuffed tires actually fire off pretty good here, and it's just a matter of how long do they hang on. So now that Cole has about a second of clean air in front of him, we're trying to get, we're getting 10 or so laps on these tires, green flag laps. We'll see, how much those newer tires come into play. And if he can run down these top 2.
This is our Ford Performance onboard camera, riding with Cole through turns 3 and 4. Looking back at Jeb Burton. That's Austin Hill right behind him. Hill also on those fresher tires, made the pit stop at the end of the stage. Shane Van Gisbergen played the strategy. He's 12th right now and has some company from Sammy Smith.
And Shane's just learning here. This is a very interesting racetrack. And Shane's been racing a long time, right? He might be a rookie in NASCAR, but he's not a rookie, like a true rookie. And anytime you come to a place that's this different, this late in your career, you're probably like, I don't even know how to prepare for something like this, right? Sometimes when you're young, you just jump into things and you don't even know what to expect, and it doesn't matter. But it's hard for an experienced race car driver to jump into something completely new and try to adapt quickly.
And judging by his last 1 and 2, he's loose, and that's no fun around this place. If you're loose and hanging on, oh my gosh, it's such a long day, and you're working your tail off. And he's definitely getting the full experience. But he's impressed me this year. He's done a great job. I mean, he's been really consistent in learning as AJ's trying to pick his way back to the field. It's such a dogfight. Everywhere you look, there's guys on who stayed out, new tires who maybe didn't get the good restart, so now they're racing each other, and they're also trying to get by the guys who have scuffs on. So it's just it's gotten spread out, but then there's these little packs of cars that have a heck of a race going on.
Allmendinger making a move to get in the top 10. Give a call to Caden Honeycutt, making his 2nd career start. First of the year, driving the 92 for Mario Gosselin. Top 20 in qualifying, and he's done a nice job so far in the race. 11th right now. Closing on the midway point in stage 2. Jesse Love is your race leader here in Dover, Delaware. There it is with Jesse out front. A little Huey Lewis in the news. The power of love.
Perfect. Adam was entertaining us with his impressions of Back to the Future.
When someone said, what's it going to take to find speed and how fast you have to go to win the pole, they said, 1.21 gigawatts. Okay, let's go to Regan.
Well, and we see Jesse Love out front, of course, making that pit stop earlier to be able to leapfrog some of the field. Early on, he was too tight. They made the adjustments, and now that car has swung the opposite direction. Too loose, in particular, 3 and 4 when he's running the bottom 3 and 4. Just too loose for him right now. Doesn't love where the car's at right now.
I love what you did there, Regan.
Well, he's had to hang on. He's got that clean air, which is probably helping him turn some and made him loose. But Cole Custer is there. He's turning underneath it, and Cole has figured out how to run the top line. He's made these huge runs. You know, tire advantage for sure. It took longer than I think any of us expected for this to happen, for Cole to get to the lead. I thought it would happen a lot sooner than it did.
Yeah, Cole just needed the track to rubber up a little bit to where he could go up there, you know, and we saw the two. He was starting to get really loose running the bottom, you know, and we talked about earlier of how much of a handful it is when you are free trying to run the bottom of the track when it rubbers in. I mean, look, you see him gaining the center, but then it's so free on exit when it hits the rubber. Look at the run, and look how Custer just pulls him. So, yeah, you're using more tire up there, but Cole is, I think he understands just 16 to go, coming to 16 to go, and he's making it work really good. And he was really the only guy I see up there making lap time.
But what I would say, they had that great rally late in stage 1. They get some track position. They execute on pit road, which is enormous here, and that's what put them in the spot on this restart to reel in those guys up front and go take the race lead. Other side of that, Justin Allgaier finds himself back in the 9th position right now, Josh.
Well, yeah, Adam, and we saw how strong Justin Allgaier was in stage 1, winning that stage. Then a little bit of an issue on pit road. They made some slight adjustments to that car, and then Justin came over the radio, said those adjustments went the wrong direction. Not as happy with the car as he was before. So the next time they pit, look for them to go back on those adjustments, guys.
Hey, look, he's pretty loose too. You know, you saw him get to the center of the corner, and the car needs to rotate to point for exit, and the back just came around. It over-rotates on him. So huge difference, you know, from clean air to dirty air like Justin's in, wanting an adjustment on your car, and also the track changing. I mean, this is probably, I would think, the longest green flag run we've had. So the track is going through a huge swing right now, and drivers are finding out, you know, what their car is doing as this track gets more and more rubber laid down on it.
14 to go. Stage 2. We'll take you side by side. Cole Custer, the race leader, in front of Love, Hill, Retzloff, and Creed. Inside of 10 laps to go here in Dover, Delaware. Cole Custer leading the way. He's got a nearly 3-second advantage over Austin Hill, who's now worked his way by his teammate to second. Jesse Love is third. Carson Kvapil making his second career start, and he qualified outside the top 20, but has driven the 88 for Junior Motorsports into the top 15. Top 5 run to begin his career at Martinsville, and pressing again today is the second generation driver. His father Travis won a Truck Series championship more than 20 years ago. I believe he's sitting on the pit box today. Saw Travis in the garage and very happy for what's happening with his son. And here's Corey Heim driving the 26 for Sam Hunt Racing.
He's very slow on the pit road too. Obviously, he's not even on pit road. He's going down the back straightaway. Makes you say it's obviously something wrong with the car.
When we start talking about Carson, he was right behind him in 16th, but now off the pace, going to have to make an unscheduled stop here with 5 to go in the stage. We mentioned Corey because not only is he running today, he'll make his Cup debut tomorrow, driving the 43 for Legacy. And, of course, he's filling in for Eric Jones, who is injured at Talladega. We send our best to Eric. Hope to see him back soon.
Yeah, hopefully Eric heals up great. You never want to see that. And but the 7, he's making some lap time. But let's go back to the 26, Regan.
Well, Ryan, you just showed the 26 slow on the bottom of the racetrack there. The report from the team and the driver, it is the engine. The engine never got hot. They're not sure what happened, but something with the engine.
3 to go in the stage. You said it, Ryan. Justin Allgaier starting to come to life.
Yeah, it took him a little while to get going, you know, and he got mired back there. But, gosh, I mean, he's passed a bunch of good cars. You know, just drove by the 98. He's really putting a lot of pressure on the 18. And Justin's starting to move around a lot. You know, before I feel like he was really glued to the bottom of the track, and now he's able to run up the track and find some clean air as he's, you know, starting to. This is 4th and 5th right in front of him, so he's really starting to flex his muscle. Honestly, I think he's been one of the fastest cars on the racetrack. Looking at lap times here recently, and he's still in traffic. So that 7 car, even though he said he didn't think the adjustment was right, I feel like it's starting to come to him as we close in on the last lap of the stage.
That corner was not it for him at all. But this is just his MO. This is what he typically does. He's really fast on a long run. Cole Custer coming off turn 2 here. Obviously a commanding lead right now, but Austin Hill's not too far back.
Custer going to lead the final 18 laps of stage 2. And he'll get that green and white checkered flag. For Custer, it's his 2nd stage win of the season. His first came at Phoenix, another 1-mile track, and a good battle for 5th. Allgaier cannot get to Creed. So it's Custer, Hill, Love, Retzloff, and Creed, the top 5. Allgaier scores points again. Herbst was there, Chandler Smith, Sammy Smith, and Ryan Truex. Cole Custer in charge. What will they do strategy-wise at the end of stage 2? The United Football League continues in prime time as Birmingham battles Houston, or San Antonio. The Brahmas take on Arlington. It all kicks off 7 Eastern on Fox. Check local listings for the game in your area.
Brahmas, the special bull.
I had to slide that in for you. Pit stops coming before they pit here. Any strategy with rain on the way? Do you play any games?
I mean, you can. It'd be pretty risky for sure. I think the rain's still 15, 20 minutes out. It sounds like maybe you got 45 laps on your tires. I think you got to come in and you see all of them pitting right here.
Yeah. They're heading your way, Josh.
Yeah, let's start with the 7 of Justin Allgaier. Said that last run, it felt way rougher, a little more bouncier for that car. They're going to go back a little bit on the adjustments from before for the 7. As far as the 21 of Austin Hill, he said the short run needs a little help in terms of rear security. The long run, good in that car. Regan?
The 00 leader Colt Custer right now was pretty good overall. Didn't have too many complaints, but he did say around lap 25 his car gave up too much grip at both ends of the racetrack. And the 2 of Jesse Love, we talked about how he was loose earlier on. It did tighten back up for him and stayed loose off. They're going to actually adjust for the racetrack. They think it's going to get considerably tighter as the track keeps going.
And now the race off pit road. Cole Custer won the first time down when the leaders made those stops at the end of stage 1. He'll win it again here.
Justin Allgaier's crew, nice bounce back, plus 3 spots there.
They're level on the day.
Yep.
They lost 3, they gained 3, and he is third coming off the pit lane behind Custer and Hill. We're ready for the final stage and some of the key players at the front. Great restart coming your way from Dover. Stage 2 is complete, so with the chance of rain, this race is official. 4 cautions so far today. And one of those incidents, Ryan Sieg, who caught on fire almost halfway home at the Monster Mile. There's our stage point breakdown. Cole Custer, best of the bunch. Justin Allgaier wins stage 1. He gets 15. Brandon Jones started on the pole, gets 9 stage points. That's big for him when you consider where they are in the standings. Here's 00 radio at the end of stage 2.
Well, they're going to be racing the weather when we do go back green, so we'll keep you up to date with it on as you can. Probably about 15-20 minutes away according to our forecast, so get in here. Our pit crew's going to do their job. We'll get you back out front, and we'll take it from there.
Well, their pit crew did their part. They came down pit road. They put them back out front. Now it's about to start, and you know, Austin Hill looks pretty strong at the end of the run. Here's the weather. Obviously, there is rain on the way, and it is very, very close. And you see a little bit of yellow in there too, Ryan. That's usually not a good sign either. So
we need
pretty
green,
heavy rain.
We need green on track, not on the radar.
That's right. That's right. We see Cole take the top. You know, so we've kind of seen a mixture of leader taking bottom or top. So we'll see how good of a launch he can get as we have our 2 Dash for Cashers lining up really close to each other with Herbst and Love.
Well, this restart's going to look like a restart with maybe 20 laps to go. It's going to be very intense. Everyone's going to take every run, trying to be super aggressive. They know the win is right here in front of them.
Yeah. Justin Allgaier did the same thing that he did the initial start of the race. You know, be able to roll the top super fast, pick up a row, and now I think we have the 2 best cars running 1-2 right now.
Riley Herbst able to come through the 4th.
Real loose.
Look at that.
7th.
Opens the door for the 21 of Austin Hill down to the inside. Racing for the runner-up spot as the 00 of Cole Custer starts to pull away out front.
Neither one can afford to give up the spot right here. They're both going to really fight hard for 2nd place.
Jesse Love enters the party. Look at him riding that low lane.
Austin Hill just hanging down there on the bottom. Going to get position a little bit into the corner. Justin doing a good job rolling that top, pinching him on the exit, trying to carry that momentum. Not enough to clear him, though.
Cannot quite get cleared. You know, we talk about the bottom being preferred, especially for the first handful of laps. Everyone fighting for the bottom. Justin's trying to hold him as tight as he can, but being smart about it, like not really taking all the air off of him. But and you see just Cole just driving away. I mean, he's almost got 2 seconds on these guys. It just shows you how much slower you run when you're side by side, 2 by 2 like that.
And they got the whole field stacked up behind them, just getting closer and closer to him. Justin's going to clear. Riley Herbst almost going to clear.
Look at Sammy Smith, 8 car for Junior Motorsports, outside lane.
And I said it, guys, this was going to be an intense restart. No one's going to be given here. There's no give and take. It's take and take for sure right now.
No intensity for Cole Custer. Look out, there goes Jesse Love trying to hang on to it.
Yeah, Ryan Truex was underneath of him, and right as we cut away, it looks like Truex caught a little bit of Jeffrey Love has a flat for a tire.
Left rear.
A little bit of tailpipe.
Sure, that was from contact, like you said, Ryan.
Yeah, the 20 just clipped the apron on the inside of the 2 entering turn 1 and got him loose, you know, and with the 2 close to him like that, it just made it worse, and they made a little contact there.
Truex with about his best running position of the day after qualifying 12th. He's 7th. Here's our Toyota on board right behind his teammate Sheldon Creed.
Here's a look from Ryan Truex as they come off of turn 4. Right
18 in line with you.
There, he's trying to pull him back as they go into the corner. He just got loose into the corner. Ryan Truex got loose into the corner and chased it up right into the door of Jesse Love. And nothing Jesse could do there.
With Ryan Sieg out of the race, and now Jesse Love making this unscheduled pit stop and dropping back and going a lap down. Big opportunity for Riley Herbst to win the $100,000. He's 3rd right now, and the only other driver you see highlighted in purple on our pylon, Anthony Alfredo, started at the rear, driving to the front. He's 11th right now, that R Motorsports Chevrolet.
That $100,000, I mean, it is big for every team, don't get me wrong. But if Anthony Alfredo and that team can get that $100,000, I mean, that is huge, huge for sure. I mean, $100,000 is big to anybody, let's be honest. But
it'd be 2 weeks in a row, though, where somewhat of an underdog team is able to win the money, with Ryan Sieg doing it last week at Talladega, and if Anthony Alfredo could do it here today, right?
Anthony Alfredo, he's had a really good last week. He ran great in the Xfinity race, ran great in the Cup race. So he's coming off a great weekend last weekend.
There's Alfredo in 11th. Third on Saturday last week, as you said, 6th on Sunday, and back-to-back top 10s right here in the Xfinity car. Over halfway home in Dover, Delaware, Cole Custer is the man out front. Welcome back. Dover Motor Speedway playing host to the NASCAR Xfinity Series for the 78th time with a couple of NASCAR champions, Joey Logano, Ryan Blaney. I'm Adam Alexander. On the pit lane, Regan Smith and Josh Sims. Lap 116 of 200 going on the board. Cole Custer won the second stage, won the race off pit road. He is in charge of the field right now. Justin Allgaier, who won stage 1, is second. Riley Herbst leads the way when it comes to the dash for cash. He's third right now. And we do our Toyota top performers. Got a handful of drivers that have been impressive today. Sheldon Creed is 7th. Ryan Truex has worked his way to 8th. Not the weekend that Chandler Smith probably would have wanted. Didn't have as much speed as they had anticipated yesterday in practice. Our championship leader coming in is 11th, and Taylor Gray spent some time in the top 10 early. He's 16th right now.
Pretty surprising there. You look at JGR cars in the past here at Dover, always have been very, very strong. And you see right there, really all 4 of them not that good this time. Kind of interesting to see that. Maybe they've gone down a different direction or some other things have changed that we don't know about.
14 wins here for Joe Gibbs Racing. That's the most of any organization. 2 of those courtesy of Joey Logano, 2012.
There you go.
Got Dose.
I want to talk about Carson Kvapil. Up to P6. He's the fastest car on the racetrack right now. Last 3 laps, he has been like half a tenth better than leader. I know he's 7 seconds behind the leader, but he's, put together a great run here at Dover. We talked about him at Martinsville, ran really well, finished awesome, and he's done a good job today, of not having a ton of laps here. He ran the ARCA race yesterday, so he had, a little bit of experience, but Xfinity cars are completely different, right? How it rubbers in, how they drive. So he's done a good job just getting a little better through the race, picking his way through there, and I can't say enough about him. I mean, really, really impressive here in his first couple starts.
He's definitely hoping that this thing goes green and does not see the rain coming in the future, right? He's got a really fast car. He's figured out how to make speed with it, like you said, Ryan. Now he just needs the rest of the race, right? He's figured out how to go fast. He just needs the race to make up the rest of it.
Saw Parker Kligerman there. Quiet day for him in the 48, 16th right now. Driving for Big Machine Racing. Their owner, Scott Borchetta, telling us that, they got that Motley Crue paint scheme. They were hopeful that Vince Neil was going to be here today, but they had to add a rehearsal, so he was unable to come in for the race. But we can tell you good news. Dogs of War, their new single is #1 globally on iTunes.
Really?
So some good news for Motley Crue.
Still making music.
Yes.
Pretty amazing.
Sammy Smith has quietly worked his way to 4th in the running order.
Taking care of it, what you're doing. You're doing good. Just stay focused, hit the same marks. With the radar, everybody's going to end up running this long, so we could be running another 50, 60 laps here.
Yeah, Devil is definitely going to run it long. The other thing I thought there, too, is when your car starts getting loose here at Dover, it's important to not just keep overdriving it lap after lap. You have to just check up for a minute, try to cool it off, unless it's just going to get freer and freer and freer, and it'll never stop. It'll just fall off a cliff. You got to eventually just check up and say, okay, I need to figure out how to keep my rear tires on me so I don't drop off the cliff at the end of this run, and I'm able to just maintain at least where I'm at.
Teammates racing for position here. 81 Chandler Smith trying to get 8th right now and coming up a bit short with Ryan Truex. What's the story there, Regan?
Adam, an uncharacteristically quiet day for Chandler Smith to this point. They've been fighting the same thing all day long, though. They cannot get that 81 car to turn the way that he wants it to through the corner, especially as the runs go on. He just loses all front turn, and they have not been able to solve that problem yet.
You see momentum in the role it plays at Dover. Goes for 8th, doesn't get it, falls to 10th because Allmendinger is able to get by. I want to go back to Sammy Smith for a second. We saw him in the 8 car up in the 4th position. He's from Iowa, and they had some really bad weather out there last couple of days. Tornadoes, Iowa, Nebraska, throughout the heartland. So our thoughts to everyone back near his hometown.
Yeah, so we saw Cole Custer got out to a pretty good lead, pretty solid, pretty comfortable, and he's working through a little lap traffic, not a lot. He's got some pretty clear racetrack here for the next little bit. But Justin Allgaier, we saw, he didn't fire off very good, and he lost some spots. He was battling the 21 car super hard. He was battling the 98 a little bit, and now he's separated himself. And the last 2 or 3 laps, he has been 2/10. He was 3/10 quicker than Custer this past lap. Cut it down to 2.5 seconds. If we run this thing long, like I feel like everyone's going to, just because there's weather, they're going to run it all the way to the end of the pit window. Can Allgaier cut in a little bit to that lead, and we'll see how good his car is here on a long run.
I would tell you that if the caution came out right now and there was no threat of rain, everybody pits, right? But unfortunately, we got rain coming, and that means it's anybody's guess how this thing will play out if we do get a caution. Could be some strategy. We'll see what unfolds. There's that good-looking paint scheme for Big Machine Racing. Motley Crue on the hood. So let's do a little Motley Crue as we head to break. 71 to go in Dover. Good racing all around here as we anticipate some rain heading toward Dover, Delaware. Cole Custer leads, racing for position. That's 7th on the line. You saw Creed and Truex going at it. Allmendinger hanging around. And the advantage now 1.3 seconds for Custer over second place Justin Allgaier. There are the teammates going at it for 7th.
We're getting to the point of the run. Custer's starting to run into some lap traffic. You know, I mean, it's this place gets wide, but it's also slick. You know, and and how he works his way through lap traffic is going to be tough. And he's going to really have to figure out, all right, what do I need to do? Do I need to go back up to the high line? You know, he's kind of been running the bottom mainly this run, whereas before we saw his strength running up the racetrack. So I'd be curious to see, hey, what is my car maybe not doing as good now to where I don't feel as comfortable running up there?
Yeah, you see Jesse Love right behind him there. He's got, I don't know, 7-8 laps newer tires. Remember, he had that flat left rear tire. He's looking to get one of his laps back. Right behind that, you see Justin Allgaier in that black and red car, number 7, that is reeling them in. So, you know, I do think at one point when this track was green, they were chasing that tan, right, where there was no rubber, very, very high up the racetrack. That's where Cole Custer was his strongest at the end of the second stage. Now, it's rubbered up there, right? So the grip is kind of gone. It's rubbered up everywhere, and it's migrated back to the bottom. If you're one of the best cars, you're running the very, very bottom again. And it doesn't seem like the 00 is quite as strong as he was. And you see the traffic there in front of him.
Brennan Poole, last car on the lead lap. He wants to stay in that position, depending on how things play out with cautions. He doesn't want to lose a lap here. So we'll see how hard he races the 00. Not at all. Custer drives right by him. I thought maybe he would hold him up, open the door for Allgaier, and he does not.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of traffic. I mean, going back to how much this track changes too. There's not a track that changes more with rubber than this racetrack right here. Maybe Bristol has some ways kind of like that too, but it feels like Dover here, it's almost like a dirt track. There's times that you have so much grip, you're like, how do I have this much grip? And then you fast forward 30 laps into the run and you were sliding everywhere and you're like, how do I have no grip?
Yeah, it's like in qualifying, you know, for our cars, like the track is pretty green, it's bare, and the amount of grip we had in qualifying is just unbelievable, you know, and then you get to the race and the track rubbers up like this and you're like, how did I have this much grip 30 laps ago and now I'm hanging on for dear life? So these concrete tracks are super finicky.
59 to go. Here's Cole Custer radio.
Somewhere around 160, mid 150 to 160 before the rain gets here. Just keep by Nard.
Okay. We'll see. It's so hard. I mean, being a crew chief, think about how hard this is, ladies and gentlemen. Like, you got to sit there and try to call this race, right, off of fuel mileage, how much fuel you have in your car before you have to pit. And then you're looking at the radar. And I don't know if many of you have ever looked at a radar, but I'm sure everyone has. It's not always like consistent, right? Like, and there's a little delay, like it updates every 3 to 5 minutes and you're like, oh wow, it changed. All of a sudden there's a pocket now and we're not getting rained on. And you would have thought for sure we were gonna get rained on. It's very hard for crew chief to call a race off of the radar. And that's the box that they're gonna be in here shortly if they get to where they're about out of gas. Because let's be honest, right? Blaney right now, if you want to look at the fastest way to get to lap 200, you'd pit right now, right? But I don't think you can do that if you look at the radar.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to lose so much time if you pit under green before everybody and it ends up raining. You know, then you're hosed, right? So you have to figure out. I feel like you just got to run it as long as possible, especially if you're the top 2 guys. You know, even the top 5 or so, you got to run it as long as you possibly can.
And you see in the pylon, everyone pitted into stage 2. That was 51 laps ago. And the fuel window somewhere between 85 and 90 laps. So they got a long way to go before they're going to have to make a pit stop.
Who doesn't have a long way to go is Justin Allgaier to get the lead. Cole has run up on these cars running 3 different lanes than him. Jesse Love's trying to get his lap back, so he is faster because he has newer tires than
Van
Cole.
Gisbergen trying to stay on the lead lap.
Van Gisbergen, you know, the 92 trying to stay on, you know, his lap. So, I mean, Cole is in a hornet's nest right now, and Justin's trying to pounce on it.
He got to Brennan Poole, drove right by him. I said, okay, maybe everything's going to work out here in this lap traffic. And then he got to Van Gisbergen, and everything changed. Woo! Whoa. That was a bit of a ride for Allgaier, but he is right there on his back bumper now.
Well, it gets harder the more cars you lap, you know, because each car that you lap further up towards the field is faster. Yeah, that was big right there.
Yeah,
Cole
big.
was able to get by both of those lap cars in one corner.
Yeah, getting the twofer right there. That was a huge deal. You see the gap he put on Justin Allgaier just in one straightaway. And now Justin still has to get by the 97 of Shane Van Gisbergen. So that was a big sigh of relief for Cole Custer.
Racing for the lead, could be racing for a win as we anticipate sometime maybe next 10 laps or so we could get some rain here at Dover.
Right, and the 97 is not going to make it easy on Justin, right? He's trying to stay in touch with the 00 because the more cars, 00 is going to go up and lap this 51. Shane has to make sure he's the first car lap down to be the lucky dog. So Shane just isn't going to roll over, and he doesn't have to, just because second's trying to pass him.
Oh, and I see right there the 00 is still really good at kind of just pivoting right in the center of the corner to turn underneath Jeremy Clements there to get him down a lap. His car is pretty versatile, and that's what's going to help him work this traffic. There's times here you can have a really fast car, but it's only fast in one lane. That's all well and good until somebody's in your lane. You have to have a car that can move around the racetrack. It looks like Cole has that.
20 cars on the lead lap. Jeremy Clements 21st, just went a lap down. Next car Custer will see will be Daniel Dye. Think about the year for Cole Custer, coming off a championship. Didn't win last year in his championship season until June. But already this year, if you look at the numbers, laying the first 9 races in 2023 over what he's done so far defending his title, Custer has been better this season and leading more laps today than he's led in any other race so far this year. 79 out front for the 00.
Let's ride with Cole for a lap and just listen to the throttle of this thing, how much he has to play with it through the corner. Here, the corners are so long, you go back to 60%, you back up to 20, go back, and it's
clear, all clear.
You're trying to set it up to all be low right there at the exit of the corner. If you start drifting it up too much at the 2/3 point of the corner, that last little bit of the corner, which is coming right here, you got to be in good position right there. If you're too high and pointing towards the wall, when you come up out of that hole right there, and you're not pointing in the right direction, pow, into the fence really, really fast. That's all about getting that point and then throttling up.
And sometimes you have to do it like you see him kind of squirt gas to it in the middle, and then he has to back out to get the car reset, So he has to make time in the middle, but he can't just carry that throttle the whole way, or his car is just going to, get out of shape and he's going to be out of the groove. So it's such an interesting throttle position here. I think more than any other track that we go to, of how much you're actually playing with it. Maybe if other tracks like at Homestead, when you're on the wall, you kind of play with it more, but it was just fascinating for everyone at home to hear that.
And there's two completely different ways of driving the track here. There's some that lift early and wrap the bottom and do what you're saying, Ryan, just a little bit of throttle. There's others that just ship it into the corner really hard, get it pointed, go up the racetrack, and come back down.
Custer leads, Allgaier in his hip pocket. Here's 7 radio.
For the win right here, Eddie. It's got to happen soon.
How far out's the rain?
2 miles.
I stay on it now. We're looking at weather here. It's not far.
And I don't think Allgaier's mindset would change if the weather was close or not. 45 to go. He's working his tail off. He's trying his hardest to get the lead, whether it's going to go run full 200 laps or it's going to get cut short by a little bit. He's on full attack mode right now.
The bottom line is, regardless of the circumstance, you want to be in control of the race, right?
Yeah.
Under these circumstances, you definitely want to be up front because it could rain and the race would be over. But as you said, Allgaier's getting after it regardless of what we face here today.
100%. And you look at how he's just able to slowly reel him in all the way through turns 3 and 4 right there. That car is better than Cole Custer's right now. Right there, he's going to get a little bit of air. He's going to just try to close up that gap a little bit more as Cole ran a little bit higher passing the 15 there, the lap car. This is going to just be a little inch by inch by inch. He's going to have to reel him in.
Regan?
Adam, things getting pretty stressful inside of that 00 car right now. We know we've got rain in the area. Take a listen.
Caution.
There it is, yellow.
Caution is out, and you see the rain on the windshield for race leader Cole Custer.
It probably was raining for a few laps, but when you're leading this thing, you're like, it's pouring.
It's pouring.
It is pouring.
No
rain.
grip out here.
I don't know if crew chief Jonathan Toney is a dancer, but he might have been doing the rain dance down there. They needed that.
Allgaier was like, it's fine. There's no rain out here.
Exactly. Now, how does NASCAR make that call, right? Because you think the NASCAR officials that are making that decision, they're sitting in a booth like we are. We can't tell if it's raining or not. Neither can they. They're relying off of, maybe the pace car driver, maybe the flagman saying if it's raining.
Some of their spotters, right?
Right. And then you listen to some of the drivers over the radios, and let's be honest, when you're going 150 miles an hour, a little bit of rain looks like it's pouring because you're carrying so much speed.
Yeah.
So, and then you can't listen to the leader because well, of course he's going to say it's raining. So, tough call for NASCAR. You don't want to wait too long in wreck cars either.
Exactly.
But you don't want to put it out too early to where, fans aren't going to see racing. So, I'd say this is the point that is probably correct.
Going to be 40 laps to go this time around to the scheduled distance. Cole Custer leading Justin Allgaier in our 5th caution of the day for rain.
Well, now this is a tough spot, too.
Oh,
what if the rain don't pick up right now?
Do you pit? Do you stay out? Right?
This is what they're talking about right now.
19 cars on the lead lap right now.
They're hoping it pours, so at least there's a decision made. This light sprinkle thing's like, boy, if they go back green, I don't know. And now we're hearing they may open pit road. This is such a hard call, because if you don't pit, you're going to have to pit later. You're going to lose all your track position. But you can't look at that radar and say it's not going to rain.
So Jonathan Toney was celebrating, and now he's like, are you kidding me? Pit road is open? There he is, JT.
I think if you're the back of the lead lap, you stay out. I mean, the leaders might stay out too. I feel like you got to stay out.
You got to stay out.
Yeah, you have to.
I think. But they can't make it to lap 200, but I don't think they're racing to lap 200.
Yeah.
Stay out. We're going to stay out.
Mm-hmm.
You're sure? Not raining much.
It rained enough to produce the caution. The rain is let up. Pit road opens. Custer.
Boy,
a little shot fake.
98.
Riley Herbst pits. Austin Hill, Carson Kvapil, and others. So we have some takers. Josh?
And for the 21 of Austin Hill, he said that car is just too loose. He's sliding the fronts on exit. He just can't do what he wants to do with that car late in the runs. Needs some help with that. Regan?
Well, it sounded out like auctioneers on the radios just a moment ago, guys deciding if they're going to pit or stay out. The 98 car of Riley Herbst, one of those that decided they would go ahead and take some tires right now. He needs a little bit of help in traffic. It fired off better on the last run, but still needs help in traffic with his.
Big thing about Riley Herbst making a pit stop. He was leading the way of those drivers going for the dash for cash. So that's another item to watch in the final 40 laps. We're watching the radar. We're watching the activity on track. So many storylines unfolding here late at Dover. Am I going to pit? Nah, I'm going to stay above that orange box. The restart when we return. We're getting ready for a restart. Cole Custer is the race leader. Let's listen to their radio under caution.
Come on. Come on. What do you mean? Okay, 7 to stay 2. We're going to be okay here. Yeah, sorry about that, but I believe it's going to be here. I don't think we're going to go back green, but if it does, we'll come get tires here and we'll go race them some.
So that was a late call on the pit road. We thought he was faking it. No, he did not fake it. He had a late call on the pit road. It was too late for Cole to make it on the pit road. And then there's not much that makes the driver more mad than that, apparently.
So we thought we were going to go green. They've added a lap. That's good news for Custer because the reason they added the laps is we're getting rain again.
And Sammy Smith just pulled on pit road. I think he's out of gas.
Okay.
But then we just saw more rain on Custer's camera. So are these guys close on gas? Like, is the 7, the 00, 81?
I wonder if they're idling around, right? And the pickup's on the far right side of the box.
Now they've given the one to go again. So the top 5 drivers, or the top 6 rather, stayed out here.
Yeah, the 8 car ran out of gas. Yeah, I mean, the banking is huge here, right? You don't normally run on the apron like Talladega.
I don't understand, though. I mean, I know you talk about the pickup and all that, but we really weren't all that close on the fuel window.
No.
You know, that's...
Maybe they didn't get completely full.
Yeah, it's got to be, right?
Possibly on the last pit stop as well. He's almost stopped on pit road. The lights are back on the pace car. We did see the water on the windshield under caution here, and that, I mean, I was a little bit nervous when they were about to go green, if I was being honest here. So
I don't know if Jonathan Toney was dancing before, but he should be dancing now.
He definitely is now.
Imagine if he did pit right there and it did rain right here and he would have gave the race away to Justin Allgaier if it rains now. I mean, it's such a hard call. Like I said, you're making a call off the weather radar and assuming we're going to go green in a certain amount of time, all that stuff, it's very, very hard to do.
Going to be a fun finish tomorrow on FS1, the NASCAR Cup Series, right here at the Monster Mile, where danger is lurking at every turn. The pre-race gets things going, 1 Eastern time, then we're green at 2. It's all on FS1 and the Fox Sports app. Looking forward to this tomorrow. The Worth 400 on FS1. We've talked about it with these guys today. For you tomorrow, this is a tough, tough place to go out and get it done.
Yeah, it is. It's really hard, and it's a long 400 laps for sure around this place. We talked about how much the track changes here for the Xfinity cars. The same's going to be for us. I can't say we really know what we're going to have tomorrow because the track's going to be so different. The sun's supposed to be out tomorrow. The weather's supposed to be beautiful, but the track's going to take so much rubber tomorrow, Ryan, that it's hard for me to say what we got in our race car right now.
Yeah, it is really difficult, and you see that we've talked about the transition of the track through the run all day today, and tomorrow when the sun's out, it's going to be even more, right? So in our cup practice, we didn't really lay rubber down. It kind of marbled and, could just kind of spit rubber chunks off the sides, and that's going to change tomorrow when the sun gets out and the track gets a little bit darker. So I don't know. This is one of the toughest places. I scratch my head more Saturday nights here going into the Sunday race to try to figure out what to do for the race from practice more than anywhere. So very difficult place, but it should be a beautiful day out tomorrow, and it'll be a good one for sure.
We're talking about racing on Sunday. Let's revisit some of your Saturday success here, because the two of you have been really good at Dover in the Xfinity car. Joey, we mentioned earlier, you won 2 of those races for Joe Gibbs Racing in 12. You came back and swept the season in 13 for Team Penske, 4 in a row.
It was good.
And then in 17, Blaney, you win, and then you give the flag to a fan. It kind of began a new tradition in NASCAR.
That was the first time I did that. Yeah, it was pretty cool. Really cool to kind of start to try. I don't really know where I came up with that. I'm sure someone's done it in the past, but it was good. I was trying to make a memory for a kid that lasts a lifetime, and that's what I've been doing. The biggest problem with that, I just have to win more to give away more checkered flags.
But you were telling me that you've actually now, over the years, met fans who you've given the flag to. That is so cool, the residual impact of that.
I'll meet their parents, obviously meet the kid. Like, do you remember giving, my son, my daughter this flag at this race, and just a really cool kind of full circle thing. And it's cool to see, the kids grow up from 5 years ago when I gave them a checkered flag to what they are now. It's just, it's one of those special things, right? And these guys are signing of relief right now.
Oh.
They're going to bring him down pit road.
Yes, he's like, thank God. you make the wrong call here, and then they go down pit road. Just like all fingers are pointing to one person, So that is a sigh of relief for the crew chief of Cole Custer and that 00 team.
Ford has not won this season, but in position here today. We've got rain at Dover. Cole Custer is your race leader as they come down pit road, Regan.
Adam Cole Custer's crew chief, Jonathan Toney. I don't know that you've had a race quite this stressful this year. What's your take on everything going on right now? I imagine you think it's monsooning right now, don't you?
Man, I tell you what, I think it's going to rain till tomorrow, I'd say. We ain't no way we're going to go back green. Iggy and Taylor and everybody done a good job keeping up with the weather for us here today. And, it's just like gambling. We'll just see how it plays out here.
If we do get back going, how are you guys on fuel? I know that's got to be tight.
Yeah, we're getting pretty close here on fuel. So, I'd like to say, I think it's going to rain. Ain't no way we're going back green. So.
Thanks, Jonathan.
It's funny. We didn't even talk about weather being a factor today when he and I met in his hauler this morning. And he said, this place gives me heartburn. Because there are so many scenarios that can play out in the final stage here. You add the unknown of weather, and here we are.
Here we are at the light rain, right? Like, this isn't, the drivers aren't even getting out of the car. This is a park, hang on a minute, maybe we'll get this back in. So this is just the holding pattern right now.
We had a crazy top 10 last week at Talladega. Some of the names in the top 10 here. Parker Kligerman up there, not a huge surprise, but Kyle Sieg in the top 10, and a great day going for Carson Kvapil. We're back in a moment. Back at Dover, red flag has been lifted. We're under caution again, and the drivers out behind the pace car getting a feel for the track.
Oh my goodness. I don't even know what to think right now. These poor guys that stayed out, it still may rain before we go back green. There's no telling what's going to happen. But I think that,
look at this.
I think they're,
he's
pitted. He pitted. Oh. Cole's pitting.
Regan, here comes the 00.
Well, Adam, a lot of conversation on the radio when they fired their cars back up. Jonathan Toney said if we get going and on the racetrack, we are going to pit the first time by. Right up until the moment they peeled off onto pit road, Cole finally came on the radio and said, are we pitting or not? They said pit. They think that this is going to get back going now and that the weather's going to blow out, so they're going to put the tires on him. He's been a little bit too tight up until this point. As the runs goes on, the car gives up a little bit after 30 laps.
Boy, that's pretty early to pit, too. Like, I'm just saying that they didn't give him the one to go yet. I think I would have stayed out to at least get the one to go. They've already pitted at a closed pit road there, so you're going to have to start the tail end of the field. Tail end behind all the lap cars. So the very, very back. So you're not even going to be able to pass anybody for position. You're going to be behind all the lap cars. I believe I would at least stayed out, Ryan, until...
At least till one to go.
The one to go.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a hard call to make. And I'll tell you who has benefited since we've already chosen. 81 just came to pit road, Chandler Smith. So I tell you who's really benefited. Austin Hill picked the top along with Carson Kvapil, and they have just been promoted. They're promoting. Austin Hill's on the front row now. Carson Kvapil's fourth. Brandon Jones was the first car off of pit road, and he chose the bottom, and he's only fifth. That just shows who's come to pit road, who has not come to pit road. So let's check in what the 7's been saying.
It's raining harder now than it was when we stopped the race.
Yep, stay out. Stay out.
I am.
Wow.
Oh, my goodness.
This is incredible.
This is wild. We always find new ways to make it exciting up here.
I'm in disbelief of not the fact that we're just riding around, the strategy of this. And right now I'm here and we're coming back to the one to go. I see the flag man. He's got the flag wrapped up like you're going to give him the one to go. If Allgaier is going to pit, this is going to be his last chance to pit unless he's going to go green in that position with not a whole bunch of gas left.
And thinking about the 48 as well. The 7 and the 48 of Parker Kligerman are the two cars that we anticipate could be running low on fuel. Man, I thought he might come there, but he stays out.
He did. It's a gamble either way, right? I mean, you say it's a gamble. No matter what you do right now, you're gambling.
They're going to get the one to go, and this takes me to how Austin Hill has won races, right? I mean, you think about the ending at Daytona, what happened at Atlanta, and once again, he could be in position.
More times than not, you see Austin Hill be pretty solid all day. He wasn't bad today, but then all of a sudden you see him in victory lane. Just some way, somehow that team figures out how to win. Either way, he's sitting here second place if it was the rain right now. And if not, he's in a great spot. I don't know what the 7th.
So now Justin, he's trying to say he wants to top, possibly.
He doesn't get to choose, I don't believe.
I don't think he gets to choose either.
Man, it looked like
I don't know. If
I think he's trying to probably just delay it to where it rains.
Oh, maybe maybe he is doing that. I don't think you can do that. Wow.
Whoa.
So
that was an interesting move.
He got him to wave off the green by
got him to the left
by screwing up the lineup. Smart. Oh my goodness.
Let's go 7 radio.
Go up in front of them. We just showed the top. Go up in front of them. I know. They didn't get it right. Them guys are all wrong. Pull up in front of them. This is wrong. They got to call it off or open pit road. You chose outside. Stay there. You're running into me under caution.
No, I mean, to me, the choose happened before they came down pit road. The choose stayed the way it was. You can't, just because you got promoted up to the front row doesn't mean you get to switch or do different things. I believe Justin Allgaier is smarter than you think, and he has done exactly what he tried to do by waving off the green flag, hoping for another 1 minute if the rain is close by.
Well, let's go back to the beginning of the race, the initial start. These two got together, right? And I'm not saying that played a role in what happened here, but this isn't the first time we've seen Austin Hill and Justin Allgaier have a bit of a disagreement over real estate in today's race. Now we're going to get the green. Outside lane, Austin Hill. Inside, Justin Allgaier. Row 2, Parker Kligerman and Carson Kvapil. Going to be 28 laps to go. Green flag.
Justin actually got a pretty good jump there. He's going clear the 21.
Look at Kligerman falling back.
He's trying.
Kvapil right behind him. He's going to get a run.
7's clear.
Allgaier to the lead.
Here comes the bull right into the corner for sure.
He goes wide. Austin Hill takes the top spot. Carson Kvapil through to second. Sheldon Creed is now third.
And Justin Allgaier, remember, he's on a lot older tires, so he's going to get used up on the start a fair amount, but I'd say he's hanging fairly strong, all things considered.
How about
the wall?
Brandon Jones out of shape. Caution is out, 6-1 of the day.
And you said it, Austin Hill, they figure out a way to be up front when it matters the most. And there you see right there in the lead with 26 to go.
Brandon Jones started on the pole, led 13 laps. Has not finished inside the top 10 since Phoenix last month. Here's what happened.
See him as 3 wide. AJ Allmendinger up top. Riley Herbst on the bottom. AJ has to check up on the exit. He wasn't ready for that. And had to make a big move to not run in the back of AJ.
Yeah, just one of those things. AJ was up a little higher than he wanted to be. Got in the fence, checked up, and just he just bounced off the wall, you know, and the 9 is there, unfortunately, and is the got the short end of the stick on that one.
You know, I really thought Brandon Jones was in one of the best positions after he took tires there. Unfortunately, that restart didn't go the way he planned it.
Cole Custer, who had made the pit stop and got the fuel, had to start at the rear because they pitted prior to the pit lane opening up, but he's now scored 15th, so this caution tightens things up, gets another restart for him as he tries to come from behind.
Yeah, so now Cole, right, he pitted when the pits were closed, so that made him go all the way to the very back. So now he can move in front of the cars that are a lap down. So there's a few cars in front of him that are a lap down, so now he can actually gain positions on the next restart.
Pit road will be open this time around.
And you got to think the 7 is coming. You know, I'm right. I mean, I feel like I
don't know how much more gas he's got left.
Yeah, I shouldn't have.
Hey, also look at our pylon with the dash for cash. Herbst is 7th, but Alfredo hanging around in the 11th position.
Well, here we come to pit road entry. The car we expect to pit is Justin Allgaier and give up all this track position for the gamble that they thought it was going to rain earlier.
Boy, this has been some kind of wild race. Here's the 7, Josh.
Yeah, and Justin Allgaier reluctantly comes into pit. Before that, he just said, hey, it's raining harder than it was before. But the team told him, hey, we got to come in end of our fuel window. We're going to get 4 tires and fuel.
We had mentioned prior to the restart, Parker Kligerman was also one of those drivers short when you looked at the fuel mileage situation. He had fallen back on that last restart, so he too comes down and gets his service. Kyle Sieg had been up there in the top 5 for a while. They were rolling the dice, hoping things would wash out and he could steal a top 5 or a top 10, but he too is making a pit stop, and all of that's good for Cole Custer as he continues to cycle up inside the top 12 now prior to the choose.
It looks like the rain is kind of picked back up a little bit from some onboard cameras.
Guys, we talked about this. I mean, everybody watching this broadcast saw the radar. We put it on here. You would say there's no way they're going to go back racing. Those crew chiefs are looking at something very similar to that, and that's why they made the call they did before. Like I said, it's a gamble no matter what you do, whether you stay out or come down pit road. Calling a race off of the weather is just so hard to do.
Let's go back and take you through what's happened in the last 10 or 15 laps. You got Cole Custer leading this race. Justin Allgaier is 2nd. The rain comes, 33 to go. Eventually, we go back under yellow after we get a red flag for rain. Custer says we've got to pit. They do. Allgaier gets the lead, but he goes wide. Austin Hill takes over the top spot. We get the caution for Brandon Jones. And everything is cycled through with Austin Hill leading this race. Carson Kvapil in his 2nd start. First trip to Dover is in the 2nd position. Creed looking for his first career win is up there in 3rd. Mayer, who's been quiet today, is 4th. And Taylor Gray is 5th. And we understand 23 to go. We're coming back to 1 to go to the green flag, and we'll do the choose.
Big choose here. This is a very important one. And, you know, if you're Carson Kvapil, here you are as a 2nd time in one of these cars. You're about to choose on the front row with 23 to go next to Austin Hill, who's won a lot of these races, is very, very strong and very experienced at late race restarts for the win. Boy, he's in a tough spot, but what an awesome opportunity he's put himself in.
Yeah, great opportunity. And right, he's going to take the front row. You can't not take the front row. And he does, takes the bottom. I like that. You definitely have to do that. And he's got his teammate behind him, Sam Mayer, so hopefully they can both launch fairly decent.
Here's a cool story. Dale Jr., the boss man, is going to drive that 88 later this year at Bristol. His first trip to the Monster Mile, 1998, he won. So here's Carson Kvapil, never been here before.
Maybe round 2.
I'm guessing Junior's cheering him on big time at home. I can only imagine the emotions. He's invested a lot in this young driver, 2nd generation. We talked about his dad, Travis, and boy, has he done an awesome job today. Started 26th after being great in practice yesterday, but on the front row for a restart right at 20 laps to go.
Boy, you thought it was intense before. This has been one of the most intense races because everyone's thinking it's the end of the race. For the last 100 laps, we thought it was the end of the race.
Kvapil's got his teammate behind him in that low lane. The one, a Sam Mayer. Officially 21 remaining as we're green once again at Dover.
A little bit tire spin from the 88. Still not a terrible start. Gonna lose 2nd though. He's gonna have to fight hard for 3rd.
Austin Hill out front. Sheldon Creed through to 2nd. Creed looking for his first career victory. He's finished 2nd 8 times, including earlier this season to Hill at Daytona.
Yeah, Quapolis didn't get through 1 and 2 really well. You know, I think some of that's that inexperience of being on the front row, how hard you can actually drive into turn 1. That's something that obviously he will get better at in time if he keeps carrying the speed he's got here.
Quapple all clear for third. Allmendinger trying to make a run late. Racing Riley Herbst for 7th. Herbst trying to collect the $100,000 in the dash for cash.
Anthony Alfredo just 2 spots behind him. Watching this battle, he's 3 wide.
That's Cole Custer. He's trying to come back as well. He's inside the top 10 in the 00.
Boy, that's some intense racing right here.
Jeb Burton outside of Alfredo in the 5. Kyle Weatherman looking for a top 15.
Justin Allgaier trying to bulldog his way back through the field to get something out of today.
Teammates for 4th. Truex, who won here last year, going inside of the 19 of Taylor Gray.
Truex, pretty nice rebound today. He didn't have a great, first 2/3 of the race, but they've done a good job. A little bit of strategy play, got him back up to running 4th.
So hard for him not running full time,
Oh,
contact. Look at Gray into the
hard
wall.
into the wall.
Caution is out. 7th time today. We were just talking about Taylor Gray in 4th, was racing for 3rd. Now heavy damage on the right side of his Toyota.
Yeah, I looked from behind it. It's hard to say for sure without seeing the replay, but it looked like he got tagged in the left rear. Here we're going to get a better view here. You see Sam Mayer in the 1. Looks like he's just going to get him.
Yeah, gosh, we talked about it. It's so narrow on the exit of these corners when you're trying to run side by side, and the car on the bottom wants to shove up, the car on the outside wants to try to take a little bit of racetrack away, and that's like the worst spot, right? If they're on your left rear, you're already going to get loose, and then obviously contact makes you looser. That we all know.
Huge hit, Blaney.
Yeah,
that's a knock the wind out of you type of thing. These cars don't crush much on the doors, right? And the ones in the front hurt as well, but boy, when you hit right in the door like that, it definitely goes through your whole body. Big hit.
I blew a tire off of turn 2 about that same spot in about 2016, and that's no fun.
You remembered it. Thank goodness
Barely.
you remembered it, though.
Barely.
Austin Hill.
Now the restart. Sheldon Creed going to be on the front row, going for his first win. So we know. So back-to-back restarts we're going to have. We had Carson Quapple going for his first win, just a second start. Now you're going to have. We all know how aggressive Sheldon Creed can be of trying to go for a race win, right? He's going to line up with the 21. How aggressive does he get? Getting off into turn 1.
Well, let's not forget. It is a little history here, not to bring up the drama.
Not a little, a lot.
There's a lot of drama between those two. And, oh, man, I don't know who I'd want on the inside of me. The 8 better than 4 situation? I don't know.
I forgot about that. Ex-teammates.
In this case, where do you choose if you're Carson Quapple? Where do you go? Because did you go to the bottom and think they're going to both wash up? Here's a little history of the two.
This is with a spot in the championship 4 on the line. Sheldon Creed driving the 2. We go to overtime at Martinsville, and the final lap just got crazy. And Justin Allgaier says, thank you very much. Richard Childress not happy. Austin Hill not happy. And at the end of 2023, Sheldon Creed left RCR to go to Joe Gibbs Racing, and now going to be going for the top spot late here at Dover.
And that was just the most recent one. I believe there was more than just that, but that was definitely the one that seems like broke the relationship for maybe forever. So it'll be very interesting to see the way this one plays out. Now they're not teammates anymore. Sheldon's driving a Joe Gibbs car. Woo!
Hey, and congratulations to Sheldon and wife Cammie this week. They welcomed their second child, and so we congratulate them on that. He'd love to bring the trophy home. We were racing in Portland a couple years ago. He was nervous about getting home when Axel was born, and here's the tweet that came out. Pierce is now here and looking good. He needs a Miles the Monster onesie. You know that?
Oh, absolutely. No bigger moments than that right there. That's what puts everything into perspective on what we're really doing here.
So they did open up the pit lane, but unless you're having some kind of an issue, you're not going to give up track position here. Be 13 to go when they come around this time, and keep an eye on Cole Custer. 8th before the choose.
Ryan Truex going to be 4th.
Well, we know Cole Custer, he even said it, how strong he is on the restarts. The first few laps of a run, he's really, really strong. It's going to be hard to come from 8th to win the race, but we've seen him do that 3 wide top move a couple times. I wouldn't be surprised if I see him try to pull that move off again to try to get a few more spots, get into the top 5.
With Austin Hill leading, let's revisit the last time Richard Childress Racing was able to win here at the Monster Mile. Driving the 29 car, Fox's own Clint Boyer. Boom, there it is.
Boy, it's crazy just to see those kind of cars on the racetrack again, isn't it? Boy, I remember those days.
15 years ago. He still knows how to celebrate,
what makes me
by the
feel
way.
old. Those type moments. I was in that race.
We're going to do the choose with 12 laps to go. We'll get the restart with 11 remaining.
Well, if you're Austin Hill, gosh, I don't know what lane I'd pick. I think the top.
I think I would want the top just because I would have more confidence in trying to launch and beat that guy, you know, getting in one, you know.
Quapple that was probably one of the tougher ones, but I still agree. You got to take the top. You got to go with the leader on that scenario.
Yeah.
But there's a good chance that Sam Mayer is in a great seat right now, because if those, or sorry, not Sam Mayer, Herbst is in a good spot as a on the bottom.
Truex is third.
Let me, yeah, even better. He's in an even better spot than Herbst, for sure.
Herbst maybe not in a bad spot either.
Whose team are you on?
Ryan Truex is in a great spot as well. I would say he's in a good spot. If they wash up the racetrack, which I believe there's a chance, right? If Sheldon's able to stay side by side with him into the corner, it could get ugly.
Yeah, if they enter even into turn 1, it could get very exciting. Now, Austin Hill's banking on, I'm going to beat him, you know, on launch, and I'm going to be clear, like he was clear of the 88, the last restart, right? So, two guys wishing for two different things.
And we're about to find out.
We're about to find out.
11 to go. Old teammates on the front row. Austin Hill, the control car outside of Sheldon Creed.
Oh, good launch by the 18. 21 spinning tires.
Whoa.
3 wide, Ryan Truex.
And there's Truex.
They're still going to be side by side off the corner here.
The 18 can clamp the left rear quarter panel. He's going to ship it down into 3.
Oh, for sure. And he ships him, clears it.
Sheldon Creed takes over the race lead. 10 laps to go at Dover.
It did it clean, by the way. I mean, that was as clean of a pass. Just did a very good job executing it. Now he's going to get the
Hill contact, bump and run. There goes the 21.
Okay, the 21 opened the door. You're allowed to use the bumpers now.
You can do whatever you want after that move.
All bets are off. Racing for the lead. Truex hopping around in third. Here comes Sam Mayer. They're side by side for the lead. 9 to go at the Monster Mile.
Oh, here comes Carson Quapple.
Quapple making it very wide. Thinks better of it and settles in line.
21 still there.
Quapple's sitting in a good spot right now.
Quapple.
Oh, he's going to get under him.
Got everybody loose.
Carson Quapple lead. Here's the 88. Carson Quapple inside for the top spot. Can he get there? Yes, he can. 88 all clear.
What a move.
Just packed the air on those two side by side in a horrible aero spot. Quapple recognized it, pushed it, got to the lead.
Clean air is king at Dover. 7 laps to go this time, making his second career start. Carson Kvapil, the first time he's been here at Dover.
Now the 88 has to make sure he seals the bottom off. If he gets off the bottom a little bit, the 21 will be able to gas up, get to his left rear, get him loose. So the biggest thing for Carson here is just try to run as close to the bottom as you can and not let the 21 get any air.
Which he's doing a great job at right in that corner there. You got to
caution.
Got one spinning. Riley
Herbst sideways. Caution is out. 8th of the day.
Hold the brake, hold the brake. We're going to get hit.
Sammy Smith piling in. Kyle Sieg as well.
Oh, my.
And look at this. Anthony Alfredo is now scored 8th, and he could be in line to win $100,000. Unbelievable.
Could be in line. He's in a fantastic spot right now to do it.
That is amazing.
Wow, this race has turned 10 times from what you thought it was going to be. In the last 45 minutes, I have no, you could never have called what is going on right now. See Sammy Smith calling out. He's kind of pinned up against the wall there.
So this will probably bring us to a green-white checker.
Got to believe we're going to get overtime.
Right?
Yep, it's going to take a while to get everything fixed up.
Here we see teammates with each other, and Justin Allgaier going to get a run under him. He kind of opened up the door for him a little bit there, Blaney. I don't. Late in the race, you open up the door, you're probably going to stick your nose there and try to make the pass, right?
Yeah, it opened up briefly. It was cracked open.
Yeah.
Not been fully open.
He forced it the rest of the way open.
Yeah.
Hey.
It's one of those things, right? It's like if you're in Justin's shoes, the bottom open. Oh, I'm gonna gas up. I'm gonna try to make that guy lift, And the 98 was coming down trying to make, his exit of the corner, and the two guys just kind of collided.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm placing blame on anybody on that one. That looks like racing to me.
Herbst did a great job of hanging on to that thing and sliding through, and just so much traffic behind him. Couldn't avoid the contact.
Yeah, I mean, he can't help that part of it coming back down the hill there. The banking is so steep here at Dover. You're going to slide back down.
I want to go back. Let's look at how Carson Kvapil got this lead. 21, 18 racing each other hard. And the 88 just jumps on an opportunity. Wasn't afraid to stick at bottom of 3 wide. You see these guys wash up the track a little bit right in front of him, the 18 and the 21. And Carson just does a really good job of rolling the bottom. I mean, almost like the same thing that just happened. Just both guys getting loose, having to check up. 88 gets a good run, and then doesn't back out into turn 1. He sends it down in there, hooks the bottom great, and just drives by them both.
And that's, like we said, he recognized what was going on in front of him. You had 2 guys racing for the win off the bottom of the track. He saw the gap, right? There's a little bit of air on the very, very bottom. There's his dad, Travis. Looking at, imagine watching your son going for his first win in his second start in the Xfinity Series. I mean, I don't know who's more nervous. Probably Dad.
Oh, for sure, Dad.
For sure, right? Like, he's got to be. But what a great job Carson did to be able to recognize what was going on there and be able to keep the momentum to make a 3-wide pass for the lead, maybe for the win at Dover. You don't ever see that.
Think about 2024 in the Xfinity Series and all of the wild finishes that we have had. You just can't make up some of these dramatic endings. I go to Atlanta, race 2, all these drivers running out of fuel. We go to overtime, get the restart. Then the leader, Jesse Love, who had dominated, runs out of gas. Austin Hill wins it. Allgaier looks like he's going to win. Inside of 5 to go at Phoenix, has the tire go down. He hits the wall and is so frustrated. And then Circuit of the Americas. Austin Hill, Shane Van Gisbergen trading blows. Here comes Kyle Larson winning in the Xfinity Series. Overtime at Martinsville. Eric Almirola gets the lead. Caution comes out, and the 20 gets the victory. And then 2 weeks ago, Texas Motor Speedway. Ryan Sieg, Sam Mayer, final lap. Second closest finish in Xfinity Series history. It's Mayer who wins it by 2 1/1000ths of a second. Junior Motorsports won then, and they're in position to do it today. But it's not Sam Mayer. It's not Brandon Jones, the pole sitter. It's not Justin Allgaier, who's always good at Dover. It is this young kid, Carson Kvapil, making only his second start, and he's done a magnificent job this afternoon.
Absolutely. You know, it's so much fun to watch those highlights, too. These Xfinity Series cars and drivers, but these cars just put on an incredible race. Right down to the very, very end. The strategy that's come down to some of those races as well, right, with not many sets of tires, definitely makes it interesting as well. Boy, it's been a fun season for me sitting up here in the booth so far, watching these races come down to the end, and Dover is another one of those today.
So we're going to overtime here. If you're looking for PBA Bowling Elite League from Fairlawn, Ohio, it's currently starting over on FS2. We'll get you there as soon as we're all done here at the Monster Mile. Let's do 88 radio, Carson Kvapil and crew.
00 did take the bottom a lot earlier, and he would just sail it off down in there and clear up. You just don't want him to put it right there on your right recorder.
TJ, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I think if you're controlling it, launcher from the bottom, I like that move. Yeah, they were able to control it earlier from the bottom.
Man, I don't know. I mean, it could be either way, right? It's if you're controlling it, okay. I could see the bottom possibly being a good move because you have control of the launch. You understand that, but it is tough to launch out of the hole right there. But Regan, what do you have with the nervous dad at this right now?
I think nervous might be an understatement right now, Ryan. Travis Kvapil, you've been in some high-pressure situations as a driver. What's this like as a dad watching your son try to get his first win?
This is pretty incredible. I've definitely felt like we had a fast car going into today, but to be competing for the win here on a green-white checker is pretty amazing. We've been in these situations before, just not quite at this level. I know he can do it. Hopefully he just gets a good launch and get a good entry to turn one and set sail.
Good luck. Thanks.
Well, here comes the choose. He's going to take the top. I like that.
Yeah, I like the top as well. You know, I just feel like, you know, the 21 kind of spun the tires on the last start, though, you know, when he was on the top and he was the control car. But, I mean, gosh, you can't put your mind, you know, in the driver's seat of these guys, right? I mean, yes, Joey and I drive, but we're not in their situations right now. We don't know how they've been launching all day in their cars, you know, so you just got to put it in that young kid's hands and hey, trust him 100%. And I know that team probably does, and he has a great opportunity to do something awesome.
Overtime, a 2-lap shootout. If the leader comes around, gets the white flag under green, next flag would end the race. Should the caution come out prior to the leader getting that white flag, we'll reset him and do it again. Listen to some of the names that have won in the 88. Brad Keselowski, Kyle Larson, of course, Dale Jr., Kevin Harvick, Jamie McMurray, Chase Elliott. That's a nice list to join if you can finish the deal here in your Carson Kvapil.
Well, he's looking pretty good. This is his heart rate is through the roof right now as they come for a green-white checker for his first win.
Overtime at Dover, sponsored by Credit One Bank. Kvapil Hill front row.
Hill got a good launch on the bottom. He's going to get loose underneath.
Hill goes for a ride. Can he hang on to it?
Nope.
There he goes, onto the apron. Caution is out.
Caution's out, caution's out.
Well, but you can't blame Austin Hill for trying there, and obviously a very tight spot, and he's going to, obviously Kvapil's going to put it on his door late like that, and you see Justin Allgaier with quite a bit of damage on the right recorder panel. I don't know exactly how that happened.
You know, I mean, in Austin's shoes, right, he got a good launch, and his plan was he's trying to get the 88 on his right recorder panel to tighten him up, you know, so he can kind of use some racetrack up, and the 88 understood that, and he got in the corner just as deep as the 21, and then the next thing you know, 21 has no side force and spins it around.
Yeah, I mean, Kvapil does a great job. Yeah, what I think is great here is if you look at the first restart, Carson was on the front row. He lifted way early and gave up position. This time he learned from his mistake and he drove in. He said, okay, Austin, however hard you drive in, I'm going in even harder because I have to stay at your door. he did the right thing.
We did the onboard with Cole Custer, who's back up inside the top 5. Now onboard Ryan Truex. He had a front row seat.
It's Sam in third.
That's going to put our last year's winner, Ryan Truex, on the front row. He moves up to second.
Sammy Smith, a part of that last accident. He has been released from the care center. Caution comes out in overtime. Quapple's leading, and there's his dad. That was probably once he got the lead, right? When he pulls out front, and then things got
and then the caution
slick
came
behind
out.
him, and a caution comes out.
He's like, yes, oh.
He was probably fist pumping that the 88 was still straight. You know, he didn't
That's right.
He didn't get turned around too.
Man, I just couldn't imagine, you know, just like I'm thinking of my little kids right now, and you think about, you know, if you see your son out there racing like this to the very end, and nobody knows the feeling better than his dad, right? Travis Quapple's been in this position many times, racing for his whole life. Now you're watching your son in that position. You understand it. You get what he's thinking, went through his mind. You obviously know your kid better than anybody else. You know what your son's thinking throughout it. What a cool thing. But gosh, I'd be wigging out.
But you know what it reminds me of? So Tyler Reddick wins at Talladega last week, and Michael Jordan does the interview on Fox after the race, and he said, I love being here. I love cheering on my guys. I'm living vicariously through the drivers, but I hate it because unlike when I competed, I have no control. Same situation here for Travis. He knows all of those emotions, but there's nothing he can do but sit and watch.
Yep, and you see he's got his microphone pulled back. He's got nothing to say. He's got nothing. He's just along for the ride.
By the way, if Michael Jordan played Travis one-on-one, I know who would win.
Well,
and you know, in Travis's spot, right? I can just speak to this because I was honestly in kind of the same spot as Carson and Travis with my dad. You know, my dad was raced for a long time, and all you can do, you know, as a dad, I feel like, is teach them all that you know, right? Because you've done it in this sport for a long time, and so when they're growing up and they're young and they're just getting started, you know, just teach them all you can. And hey, this is what I experienced. This is what you should try to work on. You know, and now it is up to you. You know, it is 100% in your control. So all Travis can do is just hope that what he's taught Carson, you know, through his life applies here, and it's definitely applying here. I mean, he's leading the race, he's doing an amazing job, and has a shot to win. So that's got to be a cool feeling. And I remember having that feeling, you know, being in a position to win my first race, and knowing my dad was there watching me and trying to take everything that he taught me as we come to the choose.
I'm not sure they're choosing.
They'll do it next time around. So we're going to get a great finish here at Dover. Next weekend, NASCAR Xfinity teams are off. 2 weeks from now, it's throwback weekend at Darlington. Always look forward to this.
Love throwback weekend.
Coverage starts 12:30 Eastern time from the track Too Tough to Tame.
Talking about
round 11.
Another track that puts on an incredible race, and we've seen plenty of finishes go right down to the wire. And we see Austin Hill getting some tires, I'm sure, after his spin. What a crazy race this is. We thought, ladies and gentlemen, that we were going to end this thing short on rain, hoping that we'd get to the end of the second stage so the race would be considered over if it did rain. We're going to race till lap 208, it looks like. This thing was only supposed to be 200. Like I said, how do you call a race like this when you look at the radar? It blows my mind.
And last time around, the pace car had the windshield wipers on. So rain may play a role in deciding this thing.
Oh, we got 2 more laps. You can't call it now. Come on, we got too good of a race.
Turn them loose.
Yeah.
Here comes the choose this time here. I mean, Carson, I think he's got to take the top again, I think. He does. And look at Cole Custer there. He's going to be on the third row on the outside. Great recovery. You know, he went for it when we thought it was going to rain. Lost all his track position. and has an opportunity to get a top 5, maybe a top 3, shoot, maybe win. You don't know. So what a great recovery for that team. In the 7, Justin Allgaier's right next to him in the same boat, did the same thing.
Yep.
14 times a driver has picked up their first career victory here at Dover. It happened a season ago with Ryan Truex. Today he's on the front row with the 88 of Carson Kvapil, who's trying to deliver for the first time in his career.
You know how much this area, means to the Truex family, right? I mean, being from up north here. So obviously it was special when Ryan and Martin won last year on the same weekend. So Ryan's thinking about trying to grab another checkered flag here and has a great opportunity to do it.
Double overtime coming at Dover. Kvapil, Truex, front row.
Pretty equal start again.
Both these guys have their teammates behind him. Tied off at turn 2.
They're going to be side by side to the turn 3, I think.
Yeah, side by side. Forward momentum by the 20. He shifted in there pretty deep. Oh, he's got to clear the 88.
20 on point. Ryan Truex takes the lead. White flag is out. 1 lap remains at Dover.
They're wrecking on the front straightaway.
Caution is out. And Truex had already taken the white flag. This race is over. Ryan Truex, for a second straight season, is going to win at his home track. He has tamed the monster.
Oh, yeah, boy. Oh, my God.
I tell you, man, you just got to be there around at the end. You got to be close. See the front row in a final restart, and you never know what can happen. And Ryan Truex, I believe, led 1 lap.
I think he did.
The most important one.
Led the most important one.
There you see Justin Allgaier loose. You've seen his quarter panel before he went green was already wrecked. I'm not sure how he spun out again. And then behind him, the checkup of everybody. Looks like maybe a chain reaction back there.
5th win this season for Joe Gibbs Racing. 3rd time that 20 car has pulled into victory lane with 3 different drivers. John Hunter Nemechek gets it done at Las Vegas. Martinsville belonged to Eric Almirola. And today, it's Ryan Truex. He goes back-to-back here in Dover, Delaware.
We said a good job figuring out how to stay in the game long enough. Early in the race, remember we said, boy, the JGR cars aren't real strong.
Yeah.
It didn't matter.
Stayed in the game, got a great restart, and I thought, gosh, he got loose in the middle of 1 and 2, and I thought the 88 was going to clear him, but Ryan did a good job of just securing the car back and making sure he hung on the quarter panel down the backstretch, and was that gave him position getting into 3 to do what he needed to do and take home a checker flag. That's cool. 2 years in a row. Doesn't get to run a lot of these races, but he makes the most of the opportunity when he does get to run them.
Officially, he leads the last 2 laps.
Way to hang in there, brother. Good job.
It's the only 2 he needed, was it?
That's right. Stayed in the game, in position late, and delivers in double overtime. Talked about how special this weekend was a year ago for the Truex family. Martin winning the Cup race, Ryan winning an Xfinity competition, and Martin Sr. was here for it all. Let's go to Josh.
Ryan Truex, for the 2nd year in a row, a winner here at Dover. Walk me through that final restart and, most importantly, what it means to get this win at your home track.
I can't believe it. Our car was just good at the end when it mattered. I was so loose all day. I got to apologize for the running into the 2. I ran out of talent, to be frank. So feel bad about that. Shout out to Carson. What an amazing run for, I guess, what, 2nd race? Yeah, I felt a little bad running him up the hill, but man, you got to take these things when you can. And this GR Super was fastest Xfinity internet. I'm out of breath from that. I think I held my breath those last 2 laps. Thank you so much to the fans for being here. Love this track, love this crowd. Just can't believe it.
Ryan Truex, your winner at Dover.
Carson Quapo comes home in 3rd place. So close, getting a few words from your dad right there. So close today. Take me through that last restart and how it could have gone different.
Yeah, I just felt like, I don't know. I thought we had a pretty good restart on the one before with the hill there. And I don't know. God, it sucks, right? You get that close. And I really don't even know what to say. I think we had a really fast Chevrolet here. June Motorsports brought me a really good piece. And I'm just really, really fortunate to be in the spot that I am, and I'm happy that I have a shot to win at the race at the end there. But we had a good car. I just couldn't really get it through the restart really good. And I was pretty questionable about the top line. My car seemed to pin the bottom the whole day, but it seems like the top was so dominant, and he just barely got us there going into 3.
Thanks, Carson.